Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Adventures of the Windswift. Last week was full of plotting and machinations and insults and I don't know what. All I know is that there's more enemies now than there were, and there's a book that's floating around. It's just chaos, absolute chaos. But to tell us more about what happened in last week's episode, we turn to the Dice of Destiny, who says that it's number one, which is con. So since I passed the buck last week, I'll pass it again and say that it's actually Tobias.
Well, so why don't you even roll? Like, it's just like, I wrote this, but I'm unhappy with this. No, why not do this?
You haven't seen Guy's video on fumbling the dice, right?
Welcome to the Adventures of the Windswift, where dice don't matter.
Well, what happened last episode? In short, there was talking, there was planning, there was plotting, and we insulted the Merfolk.
Successfully.
They were angry. They apparently have a book, we found out. And then Adrusai and Atra went to Rithamwir to get a scrying spell. Rithamwir was in the process of being torn down into the ocean by the Merfolk, and Adrusai was given another book. So now we know where, like, what?
Three of six. Right?
Yeah, we have three of six.
We have three of six. Yes.
We know where one other is, at least, and then there was the one in Valenhood I think we didn't get, right? There's another one in Valenhood.
No, that was the one.
No, that was the Talbaka. We have that one.
Yeah.
I think there was another one, though.
Might have been. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think so.
Anyway, that's... All right. Khan also actually incorporated the barbarians into the crew properly. They're no longer mercenaries. They are now fighting to save the universe, or the world anyway. And Cpt. was trying to hook up Mios with a dwarf. I think that's most of it.
And we have 3 new druids, right?
Yeah, right. We have 3 new druids. 3 new chauffeurs.
Right.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, except for the part where Khan got the druids to agree to committing yet another political faux pas. But we'll see.
We got the druids to agree to steal the book from the Merfolk.
Yes.
Right.
There is that little matter. Anyway, it shouldn't.
That's not going to have any consequences.
Nah.
That's not what you do, Guy.
I mean, if they actually do it, right?
Yeah, they might,
Correct. And so that is where our story begins. Everybody is back aboard the vessel. The barbarians are successfully integrating with the crew. Yes.
Poetry.
There is another poetry evening confirmed, absolutely. And let's just have a look here. Oh dear. Okay, so that's a fun little circumstance. Right, what are you doing? You guys are all back on the ship. You've got what you wanted, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, I need to sit down with the book and go through it properly and see what spells are in there.
Okay. So you're looking for the spell of scrying, which...
I give Tobias 5,000 gold pieces back.
Oh, that's very kind.
Very kind of you. I wasn't expecting that.
Yes, for all you know, the librarian is lying decapitated somewhere and his spirit is on its way to the ship.
In 2 years, just like, oh!
You want her to speak to me?
Right. So lots of the spells, sadly, have been destroyed. The pages missing, mold has grown over the places. The scrying spell is complete. It is still there. There is another one which I will tell you about now. Is it complete? I will roll and let you know.
Is it the spell of ultimate dungeon master control?
Yeah, it's partial, unfortunately. It's a spell of legend lore. There is just a last paragraph missing.
So if I sort of research and work on it a bit, I might be able to figure it out.
You might be able to figure it out, absolutely. And then, give me a second here. Oh, that's definitely there. Locate creature is intact and in full. Unfortunately, locate object is lost. There's the cover page, and that's about it.
That's fine. I got that one.
And those are the spells that are in the book
Awesome. Thank you.
that survived, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Where do you put the other book?
Yeah, I think as soon as I come
Neatly
on
next to
board-
each other in the,
Yes, just put them together. Do they have like a picture that match
the backs for
Give me a perception check, if you please, Adversai.
Oh, I wasn't serious, but sure. Perception. Wow, 13.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really low.
You rolled a 2.
Yeah.
You look at the book, and on the spine, it does have the names that you currently have, the Telrana, the Telbrakar, the Telbestar. But there seems to be a bigger word that they are spelling out when you line them up. And at the moment, it looks like there's an I, which you're not sure where in the word it is. And it looks like the beginnings of a U and the endings of an L.
Okay.
That's what you see.
Maybe you can ask Argyle.
Yeah, I'll probably know. I'll bring flowers and a drink. It'll be a date.
Tea.
I think he has enough tea.
The rest of you, what are you doing? Captain Ty asks again, do we have a destination yet?
I mean, we have been, right? Moving
Struggles
north.
enough.
But where north?
Well, the sun don't shine.
Well, I mean,
Struggles
it's
enough.
suppose that depends on how quickly we want to get there. Like if we
Struggles
just
enough.
want to sap hop.
Well, we can sap hop. The ship, I suppose, could head towards Lost Bay, or a little further west of Lost Bay, even.
It'll take us a week to get to the Lost Bay. If you want us to head to direction, we certainly can. We have the provisions for it.
That is the direction we are going.
Just a little concerned that you know, the Kuphet and his cronies, since apparently there are other ships around, that they will be patrolling that area.
Good.
Yes, but we have the thingy on the front of the boat, which means we won't get attacked by the Merfolk, whereas they
No,
are.
they won't either. They're flying.
Bollocks.
I mean, the Merfolk might well help out if they do attack the Windswift, but
So you're saying they might supply us with another flying ship?
That could be fun. I could use that. That would make a great artillery.
Given how the Windswift handled the Brenai, I feel fairly confident that Captain Ty and Captain
Yora?
Yora can handle it.
We have been training on the ballistas, and I believe that your confidence is, you will find that it is well earned from our crew.
So would we want to stay on board? Give Adrusai time to take a look at those spells.
I'm gonna need a couple of hours to.
Well, we have a week.
Yeah, we have a week.
Do we want to wait
We
that
head
long?
to the goblin territories. We anchor and then we sap hop to Pogglesnuff. That seems like a reasonable way to do it.
Sure, but this
Sounds
seemed
good.
like he was in a lot of trouble right now.
Yes, but I did ask you to contact him. Have you done that?
No, there was a lot. There was a lot going on right now. Okay.
All right.
All right. No, I'll send a spell to him.
Okay. But in the meantime, should we set sail? Dun, dun,
Yes,
dun,
I
dun,
guess
dun.
so.
All canvas. She starts the Windswift underway. Everyone is rather excited about it as the ship surges forward on the open waves.
Good to be aboard again.
Indeed. As the afternoon drags on, storm clouds start to form pretty much over most of the Aethwer Sea, which is what you're currently sailing in. And there appears to be lots of lightning striking the water's surface, much more than normal. But
We have 5 druids on board.
yes.
Is this really a problem?
Well, there is one druid who's very eager to talk, Atra, and if you ask for a druid to be summoned, he will volunteer and come rushing up and be very happy to talk about his liking.
All right. Solve this problem. Good luck.
Well, right. I'm gonna get the help of some of the others. A consultation. Very druidic thing.
Con!
Yes. He rushes off. There's a knocking on your cabin door, Con. Sorry to interrupt you, Con, but we've been asked by the tiefling to. Yes. There's a lightning storm out at sea, and that was the that is the that to say he said we should stop it. Does look like one of ours though, so I'm not sure if maybe you
Really? I should probably have a look then.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Shall I get the
Close
others
my
so we can form a proper circle?
No, I don't think so at this point.
But I've been gathering the willow leaves. All right. Yes. Okay. Fine.
Shut my
The
book.
willow leaves for
grab my pipe,
wearing.
throw my cloak on. Go
Right.
up.
You go up on the deck. The storm doesn't look like it's going to hit the Windswift because you are hugging the coast as safely as you can. So that's a mile away from the coastline. It definitely looks out to be pretty dark out there. And the rapidity of the lightning strikes and the sheer quantity of them seems to definitely be unnatural. Several of them sort of strike at the same point as well, which is definitely not what Mother Nature's known for.
Someone's having quite a fight. Doesn't look like it's going to present a problem for us at the moment.
No, but I still think it would be nice to not have the tiefling ask us to get rid of it and we don't get rid of it. I mean...
That's solve the problem.
Consider it solved. I wander off to the helm.
A very nervous-looking cabin.
Keep an eye on it. If it looks like it's getting closer, do let me know.
Aye, sir.
I, of course, will myself keep an eye on it from the helm.
You want to sail the Windswift, sir?
It's what I do.
Oh, is he that dumb? I thought it was what you did, sir. Now we do that, and it's different from when you used to sail it, sir. If you feel confident, you can obviously man the wheel.
Thank you.
He stands very nervously next to you. Getting back to the hang of things, are we, sir?
I did train. These ships spend as much time in the water as in flight mode. We're supposed to present an ordinary facade to the world. I have had training and experience. piloting it
Understandable.
better.
Yeah. You might
water.
find she's not the same ship you once sailed before, is all I'm saying, sir.
Correct. Hence, I would like to get a feel for her again.
Right you are, sir, he says.
If it would make you feel any better, you can stand right there, and if it looks like I'm about to guide us into certain disaster, feel free to step forward and grab the wheel.
In the meantime, I'm like 5 meters away, still fishing.
Yeah. That does cause him a little bit of relief that you've given him grounds to take over in case of a disaster. He's become quite attached to steering and navigation of the ship. The vessel is going to make her way forward. Is anyone doing anything particular? Adressai, I think you've got a list of things to work through. Jorik?
Yeah.
All right.
I
have a
harvest my
conversation. I'm
plant.
going to continue.
Sorry, you want the conversation with your sister to continue?
Yes.
That's all chestnut.
I'm merrily
take Adressai
facilitating the introduction of Mios and Endathar. Endathar?
And a thing, yeah.
I'm going to start with you first, Saket, because you realize that this is a situation that may require vast quantities of alcohol. When Endathar sees Mios is once again slick with oil, and as per orders is not wearing a loincloth, but he is wearing cotton breeches, which have absorbed all of the oil.
No.
And, let's just say there is a revelation of certain facts of young Mios. This does not seem to put Endathar off her game whatsoever. As a matter of fact, she quite quickly grabs his hands and starts to try and take the lead on romancing the poor Burke, who doesn't have a clue what's going on and is desperate to figure out how to get his legs away from hers.
Strange
Mios,
16-year-olds.
would you like some beer or some wine? Or
I'm on duty, Commodore.
no, it's fine. You're not on duty anymore, and I'm happy.
No,
to-
really, I feel like I should be on duty right now. Actually, I've got lots of things to do.
No, Mios, you're fine. You need to meet this lovely young lady who you're going to help. This is your new duty. You're going to help her get to know the ship better, and you better.
What?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Interesting outfit choices there, I see.
Well, I am a barbarian now, officially. And
I believe they've been title changed to Marine.
that's correct, yes. I did transfer over to Marines. Only I was told not to wear the loincloth, if you recall.
Well, yes, and well, why don't you tell Endathar all about yourself and your adventures, and what did you want, beer or wine?
He looks over at Endathar, who's sitting there grinning, smiling merrily and plaiting her hair whilst holding his hand. He looks back at you. Both?
Okay. I don't think that's a problem.
And you are looking at your book? Or what are you doing? You sending messages? First thing on your list?
First thing on my list, like I was joking when I said I'd put the 3 books together next to each other.
Right.
I am sort of keeping them physically apart at least, just to make that clear. But yes, no, I am going to send a sending spell to this. And I'm going to send received message, coming soon. Where is this cave? We need to find it. What direction from Pugglesnuff? Don't worry, we'll get you out of there.
Right. That's what you send to him.
Yeah, to this.
A few seconds later, you get the response. Trap. That's it. That's what you get.
Oh dear. I go to find, I guess the first person sort of outside is Con, I suppose, sort of up on the deck.
He's at helm, yes.
Yes. So I sent a message to Vis, and he gave an answer, and he said trap. You're muted.
That's all.
Yeah, you know Vis. Which, I mean, obviously it's a trap at this point.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm going to go tell the others as well. But I just feel that this is something we need to incorporate into our decision making moving forwards.
Absolutely. It's another variable.
Yes, variable. That was it.
I shall think about it.
All right, I'm going to go, and then I'm going to go tell Jorik, and then I'm going to go talk to Saket.
It's a trap.
All right, you go to.
Right, Akbar.
Miran looks at you, Jorik.
So he fed on you. Did mom and dad know?
I honestly don't know if they knew or not, but yes. And there is a reason why he did it as well. Another reason why he looked after us.
I trusted that bastard.
When have vampires ever been trusted?
I thought he was different. Anyway. What's the reason?
There is something in our blood. You and I, and Mama and Papa too, I suppose. I never could figure out what exactly, but he used to say that it gave him much more power than he would normally get. And when Duke Olkov was going to enact the rites of feeding, he found me, and he did not obviously finish the act of feeding. He told me that I was special, and that is why he wanted to marry me. There was something more to the blood moon ritual than I understood what was going on, but it was very important that it happened on that particular night for him, and there was an urgency on his behalf.
Have you ever had any strange dreams or visions? Have you ever made things happen that you don't know how they happened?
There have been some moments, yes, but they're not usually anything dangerous. Sometimes it's just a broken glass or a door slams shut, and things that I think happen sometimes, but
we're sitting in my quarters, so I take one of the goblets that's standing on my desk, and I use Mystic Hand, which is just basically the Mystic's version of Mage Hand, and just move the goblet in front of us. Something like that.
not with that kind of control. It usually falls over and spills, but sometimes, yes.
By the gods, I hoped you would spare for this. Well, you seem more sane than I ever was, so it can't be that bad.
I did not have to survive on my own for as long as you did.
I went insane. The reason I was gone for so long is because I was not at my right mind at all. I was terrified. I was little more than an animal for years. I don't know how long. I don't even know how long I've been gone.
We don't have to talk of these things, surely. It has been the past now. We have moved on, and Olkov is far away.
Yes.
Surely.
And hopefully soon be destroyed as well. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry, and if I will help you nourish these abilities in order to prevent you from going where I went.
If they can be of use to us, then I will do it. Yes, of course.
We'll get through this. Just glad you're safe. What happened? I must ask, what happened to Core? I thought you guys got married.
Kor was a very good man. There's no doubt about that. But he married me more to keep me safe than anything else. He did not want others to see an opportunity and take it.
I see. Yeah, well, he was kind of like that.
Yeah.
A good man, as you say. Did Ulkov kill him?
Her eyes tear up, and she looks at you and she says, on the day of the choosing, when he learned it was me, he tried to stop them from taking me. He said they should take him instead, and well, you know what they're like. So, yes, I'm afraid he's gone.
I was hoping he would have made it. I mean, he was a human, so he would have been old by now, but still. Oh well. Well, let's not dwell on the past, shall we?
There's a knock on your door as Adversary comes in to tell you...
Hi, sorry, didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, it's okay.
I've
We're just
gone-
reminiscing over horrible, horrible childhoods and stuff.
Oh, nice. I messaged Fizz and, asked him where more exactly he was, and he messaged back and he just said trap. So,
Nothing else. Just
no, nothing else, just trap. He sounded bad.
Mucho muy.
And I mean, yeah,
Well,
obviously.
step one of avoiding a trap is knowing about it. So I
Yes.
guess next step is spring the
And
trap.
we were walking into something awful anyway. Anyway, I need to go talk to Cpt. for a while.
All right. I'll be here.
Hi, Miran. Bye.
Adversary is all over the place. What do you want to talk to Saket about?
Yes, I want to go talk to Cpt. So, hi. Do you got a minute? Can I tear you away from this romantic encounter?
I think I've done as much work as I possibly could on this front. So what's up?
Yeah. First of all, I messaged Vis and he said trap, which is good and fun. He sounded really in a bad state. But, so yeah, now we know that. Probably still gonna go, but
Well,
look,
kind of had to, didn't we? I mean, now we know it's a trap, so we could spring the trap in a way that's also a trap.
it's
Maybe.
true. Could try to find weird ways of getting to it, but
I want to go and have a look at some of the maps in the map room. Maybe we could look at them together, because I think there
Sure,
might be a way of
let's
the
go.
Merfolk getting fairly close to our destination.
sure. I wanted to ask you something else as well.
No?
We could talk in the map room. Because, I've been meaning to talk to you about it for a while now. It's just that I feel like we haven't had an hour of peace since Balenhold. Like, everything's just been happening so fast.
Yes.
The book, your uncle's book that you read,
Yes.
how did that go?
Badly.
Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Not at
I
all?
think that the book revealed some interesting family history that I'm not particularly partial to imparting to anyone right now, because I don't agree with what my family did, and I think it's wrong. And my best way of dealing with this is to kill anyone and anything to do with the dragons, quite frankly, because
All right.
that's how I'm going to deal with it.
No, that's fair. Were they collaborators?
No, I think they were far worse. They were experimenting with things they just shouldn't be experimenting with,
Oh
and
dear.
I'm not happy about it. So I think that's probably as much as I want to say about it. I mean, I'm just going to exact revenge on.
No, you won't get any judgment from me. I know it's not on you what your family choose to do.
Well, it kind of is, because now I'm the effect of what they did. So that
You're
was
the effect.
stupid. And
How do you mean?
well, none of my family had the stuff that I have. I'm the only one that's,
The magic.
yeah.
Oh. Oh no. Oh dear.
So the best way to deal with this is to kill all the dragons.
Yeah, with lots of really powerful fire spells and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that seems sensible right now.
I give her a hug.
She kind of hugs back in that awkward Sagetti, someone's touching me way.
Personal space.
Right, no touching.
All right, we're gonna be okay, and I won't tell any of the others if you don't want me to, but you know, it's doesn't change anything.
Well, it kind of does, because my family is stupid, and now I have to do something about it. But that's okay.
I mean, you were already sort of doing something about it. You're just doing it with more personal investment now.
Yeah, I need to find some black shades and start wearing them.
Okay.
Unless anyone is going to do anything particular for the next 4 days. Yes.
Sorry.
Food.
Yes, I am.
Yes. All right, keep going.
Sorry.
That's good.
First of all, I
Nope.
want to go down. I want to go down to the remaining Jokenstoke. Can never remember her name.
Verilyn.
Berlin, thank you. And finish that project that I started.
Hey, you're remaining Druckenstoke. I'm here.
Yes. Oh God. No, that is terrible. No, I want to finish that project with the dragon hide.
Yes.
And I'm gonna with her expertise, and I'm gonna use fabricate to sort of make sure that there aren't any weak spots or anything like that.
Gotcha. So I will give her a roll here quickly. Well, 15 is not bad. So yes, she will she will help you to generate this thing. What are you making exactly?
Well, I'm making something that I'm going to bring to Jorik. Exactly.
Right. Okay.
I'm making a dragon hide armor.
Of a kind, yes.
Yes. A sort of chest plate armor covering as much of the upper body as there is material for, out of the sort of white shimmering dragon hide.
Right. Yes, you start to put this thing together. And yeah, it's not, it doesn't look like it doesn't look awful at all. It looks like a pretty good breastplate. Carapace, both front and back. Yeah, absolutely. The spell goes off, the magic sort of weaves around the materials that you've had, and she explains to you, pull that side in here and pull that in there and tuck this there and move this around until eventually, after about half an hour, you have this finished product. It looks pretty spiffy, as a matter of fact.
Awesome. I thank you very, very much. That was
Can't say I've ever done it that way before, but it's the first time for everything. Sewing with magic. Well, I never.
Well, I mean, if you ever need any help with anything else,
Right, you are.
give me a poke. I mean, not saying that you can't do it the usual way, but I mean, if there's a big, complicated project or anything.
All right. You take the armor to Jorik.
Yes. Sort of knock on the door again.
There's a
I
sound
suppose
of
it's like
things
sort of
falling down in there as me and Miran is slowly trying to figure out her powers.
I almost had it that time.
Yeah, you're getting there. Yes. Yes?
Hi, it's me again.
Yeah, come in.
Yeah, nice. Hi, Miran. I got you something so that you don't get hurt as much.
What the hell is that?
It's for you. You should try it on. I stole one of your other armor for a while to get measurements and stuff, and I hope you don't mind, but I'll put it back.
Oh dear. Is
This
this
is-
what I think it is?
I mean, I've been carrying that stinky thing around for a while now. I was going to do something awesome with it.
This feels wrong though.
Why?
Am I gonna be wearing a dragon?
I mean, yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's
dead.
bound to be better than cow leather, right?
Yeah, and it's not alive, so
Mm.
fine.
It's a bit
I'll
like
try it
a
on.
trophy.
Try the armor.
Fits quite well.
Seems to work fine. I don't know how resistant it is, but it seems fine.
Want me to try?
Not very.
I don't think armor really counts in attributes, to be honest with you.
Yes, hopefully it'll protect you better than the other one.
Yeah,
try to
the other
make
one's
it
just horrible,
as
horrible
possible.
studded leather. That doesn't exist.
Try to make as few gaps as possible. And since we're heading into the whole trap business,
Seems
good.
flexible enough. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, if dragons are, have survived for a long time, it's probably not very easy to get through that thing.
Right. And maybe there's an intimidation value when we go against the dragon worshipper. Look, I'm wearing your gods.
There might be. And I mean, it's not super stealthy being sort of gleaming white, but I mean, you can wear a shirt over it.
I can go in
We're
this,
far up north
it's
now,
fine.
so maybe.
Might very well work.
Big coat. That's true. It's sort of +5 stealth in snow or something.
Right, neat.
Yeah, I gotta move on. I have so much to do. Do you think we may have a giant crystal ball or something on board? Because I've been looking at the spell, and it seems that I might need an extremely expensive focus to work it.
You can go down in the hold. I'm not sure if we have anything of that. We might have some precious gems, if that would do.
Yes. So I just need like about 1,000 gold's worth of something to focus with. It doesn't need to be like a crystal ball or anything, but
Well,
I'll have
here's
to
the
see.
key to the treasury. You can have a
Thank
look.
you. I'll have to see what I can find.
All right, you go rummaging around. Eventually, you find something that you think is worth about 1,200 gold pieces. Treasury's got tons of cash in it, so who's going to notice?
I mean, it gives examples such as a crystal ball, a silver mirror, or a font filled with holy water. So maybe like a mirror thing.
Yeah,
Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me, you're the fairest of them all.
exactly. So yeah, you managed to find something that you like I said, it's 1,200, give or take. Family heirloom, whatever. Yeah, it's fine. There is something on board. It's not too difficult to find it. And then you cast the spell.
I'd go sort of bring it to Atra.
Right,
wherever
he's
he
fishing.
is. Right. Hi, Atra. Do you want to come? I've got things set up for
Of
the
course. Yes.
thing. Do you have anything of hers? It might help. Like an object or like a lock of hair or anything? Nothing? All right. Could you describe her well? Like I could use some kind of likeness or like a picture of her.
Last time I saw her, she was 9.
Right. So not a lot
That
to
has-
go by.
That has been 5 years ago.
Well, just describe her as best you can. It all helps to sort of
She
visualize.
was about yay high, like a meter, meter 10, meter 20. Well, a tiefling, as you might imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Her skin as black as the darkest ocean, and her eyes gleaming with intelligence, inquisitiveness, and anger. She usually kept her hair behind her horns, braided down to a single long, is it braid, I guess?
Mm.
She used to wear 2 small golden earrings. And I guess the most I don't know. She's supposed to have taken her cabal tattoos at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of show her mine.
All right.
It should be similar to these.
All right. Well, that might well be enough. Do you want to come with me when I go have a look, or do you want to wait here?
Wherever you will need me.
I think it's best if you're there.
All right. I follow.
Yeah. Sort of go back to my quarters, wherever I've put this focus
Right.
that I have. Maybe I just sort of arranged a bunch of diamonds in like a fitting, so that it sort of creates a mirror-like surface.
Sure.
Do you have the spell and stuff? Because basically,
I've got it. Yeah, I've got the spell.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking, since I've only heard of the target, that'd be the +5 save, but I'm thinking likeness or picture, if his description would count.
Yeah, there's a certain mitigation she gets. She will get that to her save. What is the target DC? What is your?
Oh goodness.
17, right?
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, 17 because I level up.
You are lucky. I rolled a 16. I was just waiting. I was like, 13, 14, 15, 17 is good. You cast the spell, and for an instant, the ship and Atra dissolves into darkness, and it feels as if you're descending down into somewhere. There's a sense of downward movement. And suddenly you are in this very dimly lit environment. And there's a sound of humming. You think it's humming? Looking around, you sort of pan the view basically to see where you are. And there is a young girl, black skin. Her hair is short, but there is a very basic braid that she's tried to put into it. One ear is badly swollen and bloodied, and it looks like it's infected. The other has a very small little gold earring in it. And she has, at first you think there's an infection on her arms because it looks like she has this crusted skin. But then you realize that it's actually dried blood, and her arms have been cut badly in all different directions. And it looks as if it's happened quite a few times, kind of going over the same marks, because they're quite raised and bloody. She sits at this very flat stone desk, and she is busy copying one book into another and busy humming along as she goes. There is a very large, very heavy doesn't look like steel or iron. It looks to be an alloy of some kind, but a metal clasp that runs around her very swollen and bloodied ankle that chains her to the center of this room. There is no windows. There is simply a large, heavy door, which at the time of your casting opens, and this very darkly robed figure drifts in. And do you speak Tiefling?
No, I don't think I do.
There is a conversation where the heavily cowled one seems to be berating the girl. Every time it talks, the girl shudders and flinches back. And by the time the cowled one is finished, you get the impression that she hasn't been copying fast enough. And he just backhands her across that already swollen air, causing her to cry out in pain. And she drops from the little bench that she's on down onto the stone floor. And then he leaves, closing the door behind him. Give me a perception check, if you would be so kind.
This I can do. As I would have wanted to sort of take special note of his appearance so that I might be able to...
Yeah, mostly covered in that heavy cowl, but there is definitely a very prominent double chin. It's got a big dimple in the middle of it.
15.
15. Okay. Well, as he's walking out of the door, on the far wall opposite the cell that she is obviously in, there is a very curious symbol that has been drawn onto the stonework itself. And it is, at first you think it's 4 snakes with their open mouths intertwined with one another, but then you realize it's actually a squid that instead of tentacles, it has snakes. And that's in a circle on the wall.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Other than that, yeah, that's it. She carries on humming this sad little tune to herself and now trying to write even faster than before with fresh blood now oozing from her reopened ear wound.
Can I tell what it is she's copying? What kind of book it is?
Yes, as a matter of fact. You go over and have a look. It's not Tiefling that she's copying. It's definitely an arcane book, and it looks to be necromancy that she's copying across. She's transcribing a spell. Give me an arcana check, if you please.
Yes. Oh, that's better. 23.
She is definitely copying across a spell that, what is it called? I've gone blank. Okay, so she's going to be copying across Animate Dead.
Yeah.
That wasn't what I was wanting to do. That's what she's copying across. It's a low-level spell. It looks as if she's doing it beautifully. These books look to be pretty good. With your check, though, there are little mistakes that she's making. Instead of 2 dots on the letter on the O, for example, there's only 1. So the inflections are going to be slightly wrong, which means chances of this book actually working, or at least that particular spell, not very good. Until you realize that she has checked the word and purposefully left out certain symbols.
No, I figured. I say out loud that, oh, she's smart. She's alive. She seems fine, all limbs intact. She's a little beaten, but she's there. She's copying spells. She's in a sealed room. I'm just going to keep watching for as long as I can, and then I'll tell you everything. Because it lasts for about 10 minutes. I'm just going to sort of keep watching until it sort of breaks.
Sadly, for another 10 minutes, that's all that she does. Desperately and frantically. Every now and again, there's a bang from outside, like a door slamming, and she flinches quite badly every time that happens. So.
Yeah. I think it says that I can just see and hear.
Correct.
Yeah, so I can't figure out anything else.
I mean, now you know another person you can spy on, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I sort of come back and I sit back, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that symbol that I saw outside. I'm going to show it. Do you recognize this?
You do indeed. It is the
Yes.
symbol of the Cabal Dagratha Vod.
It is the symbol of the Cabal Dagatha what?
Ooh.
They are they are quite a powerful clan based in Hechbiofkor that are primarily responsible for trade and commerce. They make a lot of money, and as a result, they are really powerful. They dabble in many, many different things, from trading in slaves to trading in furs, wines, all kinds of things. They are a financially very powerful house.
This was on the wall right outside of her cell. I saw there was another person there. I couldn't understand what he was saying, but I'll make sure that I can next time I do this. I'm going to need to rest and have a break a little bit, but I should be able to try to track him so that I get a more accurate location for you.
Yes,
Is it all right?
actually, the symbol and passage and corridor, it could be anywhere. I mean, it doesn't even have to be based within the Kabalia itself. It could be on another continent. It doesn't really help Atra in terms of identifying where she is. The Cabal, especially Dagratha Vod, have contacts everywhere. Yeah.
Well, please do that, and for what it's worth, thank you.
She was beaten, but she wasn't broken. They had her copying spells, and she was leaving errors in the copy. That means that nobody would actually be able to use that thing. She's resisting, and she's still fighting. I'll get her back for you, okay?
Yes.
All right. I'll come get you when it's time again.
Deduct 1,200 gold pieces from the ship's coffers, please, Mr. Jorik.
Will do.
Yes, and then I'm going to have a short rest and recover the level 5 spell slot. And then I'm going to cast it again and try to get this other individual that we found.
Deduct an additional 1,200 gold pieces, please.
It's
No, it doesn't get consumed.
No, it's not getting
It doesn't get
consumed.
consumed. Oh, I see.
No, I just made it the
You just-
focus.
okay.
You can keep
Never
it,
mind.
so I'm still deducting.
Yeah, I can keep the focus. Luckily, otherwise that would be very expensive.
Very expensive, yeah.
That's how it used to work. Damn it! All right, so you cast scrying once again. Let me go back to that wonderful.
First I was going to cast tongues, so that I have going in, and then I'm
I
going
mean,
to.
they're both kind of spells, right? Some spells do consume, some don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some do.
Exactly.
Okay,
This one. And this one I've now counted as met, so he doesn't get +5 to resist.
I mean, you have faster knowledge, right?
Yeah. First hand knowledge.
Might even be familiar.
Yeah, and I should get and he should even get a -2 because I have his likeness. Like I know what he looks like now.
Sure. Well, you know what his chin looks like.
Yeah, true.
All right.
A very prominent chin.
If I can hit the
Yes.
table with virtual dice, that's embarrassing. A natural 1.
Oh!
You
yeah.
Know everything.
Oh God, no!
My channel! Oh, I'm gonna get charged.
Switch.
So yes, you're going off and doing that. Anyone doing anything else? No. Are we all just watching Adrasai Vision?
Yeah.
Right. You now are looking in on this individual. He seems to be moving. A lot of tunnels, stairs up and down, and he basically is doing his rounds, going into lots of these different cells, just checking up on lots of kids chained everywhere. It does look as if Atramentum's sister has a unique cell. She is the
Daughter.
only
Sister or
one.
daughter?
Daughter, sorry. She is the only one who has her own cell and is all alone. Everybody else, he walks into the room and you are shocked to see 20 kids sitting crammed up next to each other, all frantically trying to copy books and keep track and keep pace with it. Every now and again he stops. I beg your pardon?
Are they all tieflings?
Most of the tieflings. There's some elves that you can see. Most of them look like they're from the Empire of Athane Vasul.
Can I ask a question here? Am I still in the room? Did you call me again? Or
I would have called you back in when I did it, and sort of speaking out loud as I'm seeing things.
Then please, as she does the spell, I
sorry.
would mumble a few words to myself and break one of the emeralds in the necklace that I have. And if you need to do in the next 10 minutes, which is how long the spell lasts, need to do any saves or any skill checks, please roll an additional d4.
Nice.
All right. Thank you.
Nice. Yeah, the figure kind of goes about their rounds, stops every now and again in front of a guard. Guards are always tiefling, very sort of heavy set. And it's minor babble. It's like, yeah, how's it going? Yeah, all right, all quiet. Yeah, all right. It's general kind of stuff as he moves around. Until at about the 8-minute mark, because he's doing his rounds, you realize that the complex he's in is fairly vast, and he goes through at least 4 levels going up. Not every level is dedicated to books, just the first one where Atra's daughter is. He goes to the next level. That you really wish you didn't have to see. It's lots and lots of slaves being processed. So lots of naked bodies everywhere just being hosed down, assessed. There's tieflings moving, checking teeth and making them lift weights and things, sort of processing. All right, you're strong, you're this, you're that, etc. Next level up, it looks to be very good craftsmen, mostly gnomes, a couple tieflings, there's some dwarves in there as well. They are busy making pottery based off of certain very beautiful Sagetti vases, and making exceptionally good copies of them. And
are they also prisoners, or are they more
all
like
chained? All of them chained in these large contained cells with guards in between. Very last floor, and like I said, at the 8th sort of minute, he steps out from the stairwell that you saw through a very heavy metal door, and for a moment you can't see because it's so bright. And he sort of blinks a few and then pulls his hood deeper over his head, and he is definitely standing in a courtyard. Give me a perception check, if you please.
Yes, I can. 25.
25. The courtyard is fairly unremarkable. Pretty standard stone walls. There's some baskets here and there. There's a very tired-looking pony tied to a post, busy munching on hay. And the only thing that stands out, however, is there's a mountain range that you can see. It's not very clear. It's quite distant, but it is unusual. It's heavily snow-capped, and the tops of the mountains look almost like frozen waves rather than the jagged normal peaks that one comes across. It catches your eye briefly because at first you thought it was a cloud that looked like a wave until you realize, no, it's actually a mountain that's frozen almost in these slightly wave-like ways.
As we go, sort of looking at the guards and looking at the prisoners, especially the tiefling ones, sort of if I can see any commonalities in like dress or tattoos or little markings or any symbols or anything like that, and if I can see sort of like on the walls or anything, like just sort of trying to work out sort of where are the majority of people from, like accents, if I can hear any like production stamps that where things are from.
Yeah.
Just like trying to spot as much as possible to sort of piece together where I am.
Yes, that's the infuriating thing. In the cells, it's all that squid with snakes for tentacles. And
Yeah.
the guards have got that as part of their tattoo work and the like. And like I said, Sageti vases, slaves, and then these books, necromancy books. The kids were copying down illusion spells into the books that they were working on. The courtyard itself, he is about to leave and go out of that space when one of the guards comes up from behind, from the doorway that he came through, and calls him over.
Does he say a name?
Lord Shadax, he says, would you mind just for a moment, if I might have a word with you? This Lord Shadax turns and glares at him imperiously, and he nods. It's about the shift rotations, and for the next 2 minutes until your spell runs out, you hear this guard complaining about the fact that he's been on a double shift and is rather tired. As the spell starts to flicker and lose energy, Lord Shadax appears to stick his hand into the man's throat and rip his tongue out. And the body drops in front of him. And as he's turning to open the door to reveal wherever this courtyard is, you're back in the room.
All right. I make a note of what time it is right now. Because he seems like the type, if he was going on patrol and inspecting things, he might do it at the exact same time tomorrow.
Sure.
And I can come in now instead.
Right.
That's my plan for tomorrow. But, right, Lord Shadax. I followed someone called Lord Shadax who was patrolling, and I saw a mountain range. He just managed to get out into the courtyard. It was a mountain range with the crests were like waves. And this was a big facility, levels upon levels.
You can make nature checks to try and identify those mountain ranges if you so like. Lord Shadax is definitely not a tiefling name. Most likely this is a name that's been used in the facility. It's standard Cabal practice. This is his non-tiefling name, so elves and dwarves would use this when addressing him.
I got a 23 on my nature check.
Sure. There is a mountain range that sits near, well, very far south, as a matter of fact. And it's, you only realize, or recognize it, I should say, because of those wave shapes and the curiosity of it. There's a challenge, however. It runs quite the length from the tip of the Dwarvish clans all the way across the southern border of the Sajet Empire until it eventually terminates in the Gamspire, far, far to the southeast.
The Great Kush Mountains.
They're the Great Kush Mountains, indeed.
Ah.
Spanning a distance of just over 3,000 or 2,500 miles.
Yes. No, I sort of rush over to my bookshelf and I sort of take out a book on sort of geography and I sort of leaf through it for a while until I find the sort of drawn dramatic picture of the mountains and I go over and show Atra. Well, these are the mountains. So we sort of narrowed it down to a specific region at least. I can try this again tomorrow.
Can you use it on the location? Or do you need to find like a person?
This is just a person, I'm afraid. But I figure since he was walking on a patrol route, he'll probably do the same tomorrow. And I can do it, but you know, once the patrol is over, because he was going outside of this courtyard that we were in, and I should be able to see him, you know.
Barely.
leave.
All right. And so the night passes. There's drinking, there's talking, there's chatting, there's activity that happens. And that lightning storm has not stopped. It continues on the horizon. Everyone is a little bit nervous by it. Con, you were approached by all 4 druids. The female dwarf steps forward. We have a question for you, sir, since you're the ranking druid here.
Sure.
That lightning storm has been going on for the entire day, basically. We were wondering if, should we do anything about it?
What would you suggest we do?
We're gonna need to cross
Sort
the
of
sea.
looks nervously at everybody, and she looks back at you. Well, that's the sort of the rub of it. We don't really know what to do about it. If we were to do something about it, we were hoping you might be able to give us some insight, perhaps?
Is it in our way?
No.
Then why do you feel the need to do anything about it?
Well, you know the saying. Why do you pat the bear on the head? Because it's there.
Okay, haven't heard that one.
Oh, you Grovers. You slay me.
I'm not a Grover, she says. Well, not yet, anyway. But I hope to be someday.
Wrong ship.
Have any of you taken the path of shapeshifting?
The human looks at you and kind of raises his hand. I think that's the one where I turn into a fox, right?
Marvelous. Right.
Yeah.
Well, yes, you keep at it. You keep at it.
Yeah. Cool. So you don't think we should sail towards it or do anything like that then?
I certainly don't think this ship could alter course, no.
Right. Right, you are. All right. Just checking. So, Kat, there's a frantic knocking on your door.
Oh, okay. Hello? Come in.
Mios vaults in and closes the door quickly behind him.
Mios, how are you?
I need your help, Commodore Saket. I think you're the only one who can actually help me right now.
With your dress sense?
No, he says, looking down at his mostly transparent trousers. It's about that female dwarf you introduced me to.
Yes.
Permission to be reassigned. Can we get maybe Cabin to do it, or
Why would you want to be reassigned, Mios?
Badger to do it? She's quite
Forward?
Yes, that's the word you could use, I guess. I'm not sure really I'm cut out to showing her around the ship very much because I don't think she's quite interested in knowing much about the ship.
No, she's interested in knowing about you, Mios.
Yes, I don't know why.
Well, mainly because we can all see through your pants.
Right.
I mean, just give a certain signal to a young female who's sexually interested in a young man.
No, but I can't be committed.
Why not?
Barbarian code. I've got to be raping and pillaging. I can't be committed to one person. That would be cheating.
Good
Perhaps
Lord.
you should discuss that with her, and I believe that the Marines will have a different code. They like to get married quite frequently.
No, well, that's well.
In fact, rape and pillage was just part of the marriage vows, from what I understand.
You think she'd be into that sort of thing? I thought dwarves were bonded for life and that sort of thing. They're very serious people usually.
Yes.
Different.
Well, in Sajeti we have a saying that goes, what they don't know won't hurt them.
You mean lie?
Just omit certain things from one's life story. And Emios, can we discuss the oil usage and the pants?
Yes, I realize that might be a problem, but I was trying to embrace my new culture, and only I don't mind her so much, but I'm not speciest, but the beard, miss, I
believe it's quite fun and can tickle.
He turns a brighter shade of red and looks back at you. It's just the color. I've never liked sort of brown hair, really.
There's something called bleach. You could suggest going blonde.
Right. Thank you, Commodore Saket. I think you've been very helpful in determining my future prospects, and I'll change the pants.
Prospects. You see prospector now, yes?
He quite literally slides out of the doorway as fast as he possibly can. And
thing. You'd think he'd be happy to get rid of those hormonal rages with any willing young thing.
Guy, it's certainly been a long time since you have been 15.
So the next day you're going to cast the scrying spell again, Adversary?
You're muted.
You're muted?
You're muted again.
Thank you. No. Yes, no, I'm going to wait until the same time of day to sort of try to catch him in the routine of the act.
Sure.
No, I do not want that. It'll be more
saving throw every time, right?
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Oh.
From 0 to hero, that's what you're telling us, right?
Yes, and
That's
then I cannot use this spell against the target for 24 hours.
Right.
Right. No, they just sort of sit there and sort of. I think he rebuffed me this time. It does need a connection to the mind. I do have another idea. Just give me an hour or so to rest, and
Of course.
I have another idea of figuring out whether this is.
All right, an hour passes.
So,
Yes.
so what maybe the crew, or, well, Adversary maybe in specific, would realize is that usually Atra is fairly calm with his emotions. He is pacing quite a bit since yesterday.
Well, certain captain has definitely noticed it. And it has caused her much concern and alarm.
Jorik's actually going to go up to deck and see if he can find Con.
Sure.
Con is currently pondering, how far away is this lightning phenomenon at this point?
About the edges of the storm, maybe 15 miles. The heart of it's easily another 15 or so, black on the horizon. The wind has picked up a little bit since you've had to maneuver out a little bit deeper into the ocean, as you are now currently sailing past Milken, the human city and harbour.
Don't remind me.
Yeah. Yes, Jorik, you find Commodore Con once again causing consternation to cabin as Con.
Jorik's in full dragon scale armor suddenly, and
Full
slides
dragon
up to Con and what do you say about some practice? You need to shape up your longsword, and I need to learn how to move in this thing.
Ordinarily, I'd agree, but you've caught me at a moment where I'm just about to go and satisfy some curiosity.
Right. Fine. Later then?
Yes, of course. Fancy armor. That
Yeah,
looks
Adresai
like
apparently made it.
that looks a lot like dragonhide.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Resourceful is our Adresai.
Indeed. I'm eager to test it, so I'll see you later.
Okay.
And then Jorg is going to be pacing on deck.
All right, Canucks. You have your hour Adresai. What are you doing?
All right. Well, I guess Atra sort of shows up at the door again after an hour.
Sure.
58 minutes.
Or I go get him. Either way. And I have the book, the divination book up, and I go, well, I had another look at the spell, and I think that I can scry on a location that I've seen as well. And since I was there at the courtyard and I saw the outside of the facility, I might be able to scry if I saw like a tower or a roof or something like that. Something that was sort of rose up above the courtyard where we were.
That's what you're going to try and do?
Yeah. But like if there wasn't that, I'm going to try to place the scrying on the mountain that we saw. Like if there doesn't seem, if I didn't see like a suitable place.
Like the vantage point inside the city or whatever it is.
Well, there's a wall, but that's at the same height as the roof of the building above you. You couldn't see what the roof was made out of. So you could put it on the wall. You could, I suppose, in theory, put it on top of the mountain. Your choice?
Yeah. I'll put it on the mountain. I've no guarantee that I'll be able to see anything from the wall.
Take it out on the mountain. All right, you throw it up onto the mountain. There is a startled bleat as one of the frost rams sees this little glowing orb appear in front of it, and it sort of skitters off, creating a random avalanche that buries some small village somewhere on the southern side.
It's usually invisible, this scrying orb.
Yes, unless it can see invisible creatures, which the frost ram, we all know, can.
Oh, yes, the well-known.
Invisible yetis. Yes, there is this general catastrophe that happens in the lowlands of the Great Dakush Mountains. But from here, you can see a spectacular vista of ice, and then as you look down, there is this rather formidable looking city, massive walls and large towers on top. The design is unmistakable. It is a Szigeti city of size, and one that has been designed to act as a barrier, as it seems to sit right in the middle of a pass that would form between the expanse of brilliant white sand that stretches away to infinity in all directions in front of you. And as you sort of rotate around a little bit, you can see this very brown, dry, barren waste to the south.
So, the city of Ka, I assume.
It's Szigeti, so it's Kach.
Kach.
Bless you.
Can I get a look on inside the city, or sort of what various features inside it? Anything that looks like a massive. Although I'm guessing since it's a defensive city, everything looks like a massive defensive.
Everything is tremendously defensive. They are the city of Ka, if it is the city of Ka that was built down here, is one of the primary defenses against the Chung.
Yeah.
So it is built to withstand tremendous amounts of battering force and to keep the empire safe. As a result, it's a sprawling metropolis of very heavy-duty structures.
So you say it's like a Szigeti thing. So does the sprawling defensive structure have towers?
Yes.
Or like, yeah.
Significant towers. The walls stand 50 foot high, and then the towers are an additional 20 foot on top. It is This is the display that the Sajeti do. They build big to say, you want to invade our empire? Bring it.
So you're saying that's not Lord Farquaad style.
You think he's compensating for something?
Exactly. Everything in the empire of the Sajet elves is massive. Everything is always an extra 200 or 300 foot taller.
Well, as elves, they
Including the
need to
ego.
compensate, I understand.
Yeah.
Now I'll try to make note as much as I can of like the what I imagine it's quite far away, so I can't see too much.
It is.
But like a spot that I could in the future possibly scry that is sort of
Sure.
on top of a tower that overlooks the city or something like that.
Absolutely not a problem. Not a problem whatsoever.
Yeah, and then I think I just enjoy the view for like a minute, and then I come out of it.
Sure. Absolutely. And relay that to
Kach. I think she's in Kach. You're right. I mean, you're obviously not all right, but I mean,
Kach is a very difficult city. Most Sajeti cities are difficult. They have vast amounts of surveillance everywhere, magical surveillance principally. They seem to enjoy building giant statues of ancient Sajet warriors, but the statues themselves monitor traffic in and out and around. And it's a pretty good choice if that's where you're going to run an operation from a Cabal perspective. It's not likely to fall to the enemy anytime soon. And if you've got the bribes in place for the Sajeti officials, it's a pretty safe bet. You can take your goods through Chung, take them out in the Southern Ocean. No one would ever know where they came from.
yeah. Did I see any kind of tree growth nearby, like on the mountainside or
Nothing.
oases or anything?
The nearest oasis is the humble city of Dajar, 250 miles to the north.
All right, so nothing even
This is
resembling
the driest, most isolated place that you can get, basically.
Right.
It's the ass end of Sajet,
It
also
is.
known as Chung.
It is. There is one posting worse, and that is Theban.
Theban, yeah.
But not by much. Not by much.
Yeah, it's just here because of the location
Correct.
of the pass.
Correct.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can keep trying to find a more specific location later on for this Lord Shadax. See him walk in and out of this place more where in the city it is, but you know where she is, and you know that she's alive and she's okay.
And we're moving in the other direction as well.
Yes, well,
Technically, we're actually moving closer right now. Almost.
almost.
Around the north of the...
But north is top and south is bottom. That's how a globe works. So we actually,
Fine.
it's not east and west.
You can go over the North Pole.
Yeah, but
And then all the way down the south side. Yeah.
No, that's not how that works.
it's like
The map
nice
doesn't
try.
Tube world. It's actually a tube world. The east and west poles are the furthest parts.
It's a Taurus.
Yeah.
Well,
Got that backwards.
well, look, I understand if you just want to go. I really do. But if we can find, if I can find the detail of a nearby teleportation circle, or if we can ask the druids or find some other way, it might be faster. It's going to take you weeks to get down there. It might be faster if you just stick around for now. And I mean, once this is done, I'm sure we can come with you, back you up.
Yeah, let's blow up another city.
Yeah, why not? But it's
I'm
up
going
to
to ask Sajeti to blow up a Sajeti city.
That's
Just
on purpose.
just the Cabal region.
So you never told me what your goal is in Sector 13.
Well, Sector 13 is the research place. You know, the place that I've been doing all the nasty things and coming up with all the dragon artifacts and the engines and figuring out the original.
But what is your goal there?
Honestly, figure out what they're actually doing and then go from there. I mean, someone told me recently very adamantly that the information that you find isn't as important as knowing what you're going to do with it. And I'm not willing to just exterminate the entire gnome species, no matter what we find out, but there are definitely leaders there. Whoever is controlling the remnants of the dragons or the dragon sympathizers is at Sector 13, we're pretty sure of it. And wiping out that core leadership is probably the only chance we have. I mean, possibly blow the place up if our track record is of any indication.
if the cat has anything to do with it, you mean?
Yeah, we need to stop what they're doing, their plans. I mean, their plans are to weaken the entire world by war enough that the dragons can just come back and take over again, and we need to just stop that.
So why did you send the druids to attack Dragon Modern?
Yeah, I asked that myself. I tried to, you know, maybe tell him that this wasn't the time for that, but I think Con is going through rather a lot of emotions right now. And I don't know. Like, until recently, we didn't know exactly where Sector 13 was, and we wasn't ready to launch an assault.
So you know where it is now?
Oh, yes. Sorry. You weren't told. I'm sorry. Things have been really busy. It's near Pugglesnuff.
That much I gathered, but
Yes.
you just saw how hard it can be to find a specific thing in a city, so...
Yes. Now that you mention it, I might well be able to do the same thing with this. Track his captor. But if they're in a cave system, that's going to be very tricky. You didn't mention a cave. Honestly, if there are a lot of gnomes moving around Pugglesnuff and they're moving a lot of forces, and Kuphet is nearby, and if we can get our hands on him and, you know, squeeze the location out of him or any of his people, there are a lot of people in and around that town that we could probably put some pressure on to tell us where exactly it is.
Well, let's see if there is a way to get down there, but for what it's worth, it looks like that I'm helping you for now, but I will not die there. I will get my daughter.
All right. I'll see what I can do to make sure. Hopefully none of us will die there, and we can all go get her back. You know, I almost feel a little left out now. I almost wish that I had some family member that was in some kind of mortal peril that we had to go run and rescue.
Wish granted, says the asshole.
I shouldn't say that with a GM in the room.
Absolutely.
Well, no.
So, what
They
is
all
it
think I'm
with your
dead, so-
family?
What?
So,
Sorry?
what is with your family then?
Oh, I'm sure they're fine. I mean, they think I'm dead. So, I mean, they're fine. really. I left them in a quite good position.
Well, I didn't,
No.
but I will rectify this.
Yeah, we will.
If I need to burn down the entire Cpt Empire to find her.
Oh, it's already on fire. Always.
Yeah, well, if anything comes up during the way that can help you get there, I'll keep it for you. And I'll keep my eye out for a nearby circle or anything like it. No trees in Sajet, apparently, so druids are out. And Chong seemed to be just the biggest piece of vegetation I could see on the Chong side was a shrub. So
We do have druids in Sajeti, though. In Sajet. And they have other ways of transporting you there, just to interject, other than...
I'm sure we could figure something out. But yeah, if you want to go be by yourself for a while, I've don't think of anything else to give you right now, but
Can I ask you something?
sure.
Can I stay in your quarters for a while? I don't think I can be alone anywhere else on the ship.
Sure. All right. I can go find somewhere else to sleep if you want. Just
Void the wrath of Captain Die.
no, sure. I'll give you some time. Don't worry about it. I'll go out. I think Edrosai needs to do something other than just sitting over a book like this, which they have done for 2 days.
Hey.
I think they need to get out and have some air. And
So I'm thinking the curiosity gets the druid, and I cast protection from lightning upon myself and turn into a bird and fly on over to see just what in the hell's going on over there.
Give me a perception check, please, as you take to the air.
It's just a really, really good heavy rock concert.
24.
As you take to the air, you see running up onto deck all 4 of the other druids, with one of them sort of nudging the other one and desperately pointing. The elf runs up onto deck, throws up all over the deck, and runs back down below deck. The other 3 continue to the edge of the railing to watch you fly off to this lightning storm that's happening.
Captain Stormcrow.
Yeah, Captain Stormcrow, indeed. You are buffeted by these very strong winds as you're getting closer and closer to this maelstrom which has been created. And it is uncannily powerful. This is not something that any druid would be capable of. This makes control weather look like you're basically just creating a light breeze on a nice afternoon. This is vast. This stretches for hundreds of miles, and as much as you try and climb above it, these thunderclouds reach up towards the heavens, and the lightning striking the sea actually looks as if it's boiling, where the bolts are slamming into the water and just frying everything. Just carcasses of whales are drifting up and being struck and burnt. Thousands of fish, merfolk are just dead everywhere. It is a catastrophic calamity of this is going to change ecosystems.
So about the thing that the druid said, if we're not going to win this easily.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is it moving?
No, it seems to be pretty much holding in place, just zapping this territory. You realize that it would need to stay in place and continuously bombard the ocean to cause the water to boil. there are currents within the ocean that this thing is fighting against. Yes, the power here is mind-boggling.
Where are we right now?
Just off of the coast of Milken in the Irwitha Sea.
All right.
How far off the coast?
You guys are a mile off the coast. The storm is about 30 miles off coast.
I return as long as, yeah, I guess I spend time sort of getting a sense of its dimensions.
Sure.
I'm guessing, yeah, it would take too long to try and fly all around it.
You realize quite quickly that this storm stretches probably from here, perhaps as far as Wraith when we're. This is a 500, 600, 700 mile long storm front.
Right. And it's okay. Well, yeah, I return to the ship.
Do you transform from the crow?
Once I get there, yes.
So, what did you see? Says the young female dwarf druid.
Come with me.
Oh, yes, please. They all follow behind you.
Go to the nearest speaking tube.
That would be the one next to Helm, sure.
Call for another meeting.
Attention, please. Another meeting. And no, I cannot send it as an email. All right, you cork it. Sure.
And I head for the map room.
Right.
All right.
Everyone gathers for the meeting, I assume.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does Atra show up? No. I'm gonna just say that I think he needs some time alone. We located his daughter.
Oh,
I think so, at least.
And she was where?
In Kar,
What's she doing in there?
chained up. This appeared to be some kind of cabal
where is
facility.
Kach?
In
I-
Sajeti Empire?
It's along the border to Chungda.
It's all the way down there. All right.
Yes, it's like a fortification at a pass.
I only
So-
know the north of Sejet.
Yeah, no. So Atra's taking some time.
Right.
Tieflings have emotions?
So what's this about, Con?
The storm. The storm we've been
storm?
watching for the last 2 days.
Yes, it's been making a racket.
Yes, you should go have a look, Adressai. Academically speaking, it's quite interesting.
Oh,
I don't know what to say. It's almost like a god has become very angry with an enormous stretch of ocean. The intensity of power being unleashed is unlike, I mean, it's almost as if someone has used a book.
Used a book.
I don't know enough. That's the scale of what I feel I'm looking at, but I don't understand this as much as Adressai perhaps, but
you mean like against the Merfolk?
yeah, well, that's how it seems. It's the very sea itself is boiling beneath the storm.
Oh,
All
my
life
first thought. My
in the
first thought
ocean
was they
is being-
used the storm to keep people off the sea.
All life in the ocean is being killed.
Oh,
That's pretty dramatic course of action to take. So do we
And
think
it's not moving?
But sinking an entire island seems also pretty dramatic to me.
That too. I mean, okay, so all right. And you're saying it's killing the merfolk, and I'm guessing
From what I could see, anything at least in the water beneath the primary lightning strike area, which appears to be several hundred miles long. Yes, everything in the water is dying. I don't know how deep the effect goes.
well, if the water's boiling.
It will may only affect the upper surface areas of the water. The deeper you go, I imagine. I don't know, but at this scale, I mean, my
You said
mind
it was
is
killing merfolk.
it's killing everything. The
So
water is
everything.
boiling.
Fish, whales.
The sea beneath the storm is boiling.
I would suggest it does go quite deep if it can. I mean, surely if you were a merfolk, you would go under the point of boiling if you could. But if you can't, and you're boiled alive in your own skin, which sounds really pleasant.
Adressa, you know more about these books.
Yes.
Is there any one of them that is about weather or something?
Well, the only one that's currently unaccounted for, I mean, we have 3. There's one that's destroyed and
Presumably destroyed.
Huantir, right?
presumably destroyed, yes. And yes, Huantir, the Vanshir are the merfolks. The Huantir is the book about magic. So it's quite possible that if someone has that, they can do rather a lot of damage of any kind they want, really. But I'm a little suspicious that, I mean, I've sort of tried to spread out the books we have across the ship. Do you think anyone here would pick one up and try to
Create
know
the
these
world's
druids?
largest seafood platter? No.
Well, that
I
would
mean,
be
I don't
sad.
think so, but I mean,
Well, how hidden did you make them?
well, I put one in the
One up and use it.
I don't know. I mean, I put one like under the bed in the lead room, and one is in my room, and one is at the other end of my room. So-
Okay, we're gonna have to come up with a better
Do I remember, by the way, do I remember
Sure.
correctly that not everybody was
Big
even
books.
Not everybody was.
able to even read the books? I think Saket at one time
That's
looked
right.
at them and couldn't do anything with it, right? So it's not just as easy as in just grabbing
You
them
can't
up.
just
and-
look into
Unlikely.
it. It's just going to be mumble jumble.
Yeah, but I mean, I could read it, so it's possible that other people can.
Sure, I'm just saying, like, it's not like
Yeah, no, you don't
Mios
stumble on
just grabbed it and read a few verses, right?
it. Yeah,
We're probably okay on the ship.
speak the words out loud. Yes, no.
Schnack Gimbatul, Ashnak.
I'm very concerned that if things progress much further, there may not be much more of a world left to save.
I mean,
I'm just wondering if this is. I mean, are we sure someone's using a book here, or is
No.
somebody really that powerful with magic that they can cast something like this? And this is some sort of revenge by the Empire of Usain Vasul to
That is the assumption. But
kill off the merfolk.
the scale of the power involved is off the charts. I would assume, given that it's over the sea and doesn't appear to be moving, that it is directed at the
yes, I mean,
merfolk.
we're off the coast of Brunei, Brunei, that, you know, is going to war with the merfolk. Do you think maybe like 20 Brunei druids could do something like that if they work together?
I've never heard of anything. Well, GM check as druid. Have I ever heard of anything on this scale, even remotely plausible? Or is this just like this is the gods kind of stuff?
This is definitely on the scale of the gods, but the idea is that there once maybe druids had this kind of power. There are talk of ancient oakkin who could raise mountains and lower the seas, but that's more myth than anything. So,
Yeah, well, ancient knowledge is proving generally unreliable in so many accounts. So
Yes.
who knows?
Seeing a lot of old myths pop up.
Needless to say, anything that ventures into that zone is done for. So thankfully, it's not in our way.
that's true. There's a frantic knocking on the door. It's young Mios dressed in a long, very dark robe that goes from his neck all the way down to his feet. And he comes in and he says, I'm sorry to interrupt, captains. We were trying to get you on the horn, but they stopped. The storm has stopped. It's gone.
Just like that. It's just stopped.
Did we bring a group of necromancers on board that Mios has been affected by? Are you embracing some kind of dark goth culture now?
He's trying to raise a family, that's all.
Wow,
Just
that
the
was
black
good.
robe is
That was a good one.
I'm just trying to dress more conservatively.
Yes, I think maybe
Like
if
a
you can
nun.
find a space somewhere in the middle between oily pants and black
point.
covering robe.
We may need to think about an actual uniform that will solve all of these problems.
I thought Captain Ty was going to design a lovely uniform with silver threading and silk.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Mios, I'm very glad that you're taking a personal interest in your appearance and that you are thinking about how you come across to people, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, he
Good.
says, and then quietly closes the door.
Well, I guess it's old news now.
Well, it is and it isn't. Okay, so it stopped, but what was the point of it all? Was
Especially
as it's killed whales. I'm slightly distressed by that.
there's going to be quite an unpleasant tide, I suspect, across both sides of the ocean for some time.
Stinky.
I guess there's another thunderstorm coming after the sea boiled. The water's coming down at some point. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, either way, we should be approaching the Lost Bay quite
That's
soon.
it. You should arrive by sunrise tomorrow. So
Yeah, we need to think about, considering that's where Kuphet wanted us to meet him, it might
Yeah,
be ready for us showing up.
Because it's a
I have
trap.
a plan. It involves me going ahead as a pigeon.
A pigeon.
All right,
That's a new one.
very well.
Your pigeons, surprisingly, are fantastic long-distance travelers.
they also have the thinnest skin of any bird on planet Earth, but that's an aside that no one needs to know about.
Well, we're not on Earth.
You could be an albatross or something.
Yeah, albatross.
Or
Not quite the same speed.
Of what's the
Yeah, racing pigeon.
Albatross.
So you're going to go ahead, Con, as a pigeon.
Scout out the area,
All right.
Right. I'll contact you by
which
tonight.
is part of my second. I will require one of the communication stones.
Oh, yes, good point.
Yeah, and you're going to carry it as a pigeon.
I'm
What
handy
is the
that way.
airspeed of a pigeon carrying a communication stone?
Given that the stone
Carry
is...
it.
yes, well, pedantic.
Right, I go to find Ty and to borrow the communication stone.
Druids don't have to worry about these things.
And I can just...
You keep the stone in a special pouch.
Pocket dimension.
Yeah.
carry it on a
it
vine.
transforms with him like it's all the rest of the
Yeah.
equipment. It's
Just stick it in my pocket.
just like you don't need to lift the feathers and then
Already have special carrying pouches called
Exactly.
pockets.
All right, so you head off. The rest of you... Sorry?
That's my suggestion for how the immediate plan. Go ahead and scout, but I don't know if anyone else has anything to add before I disappear.
No.
No?
Sounds good.
They watch you. You start flying off, grateful that there are no statues in between here and there to distract you from your course. The rest of you,
I'll be sure to try and shit on him.
Gotcha. The rest of you, I assume, will spend the night recovering spells, etc., as you will be
I
around.
mean, Guy, there's
You're
only one
expensive.
question that you need to answer, right? What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Exactly.
Yes.
African or European?
What? No. Ah!
Brunei or anything Vasul.
So, as night falls, Saket, you go to sleep full-bellied. Atra, you assumedly are falling asleep in the arms of Captain Ty, hopefully.
Or in my bed, possibly, without me there.
It can stay permanently invisible.
So you could be anywhere, for that matter.
I don't know, I'm going to try to give Atra some space and sort of find somewhere else to sleep.
Well, the only other free bed is the one in the lead-lined room.
I'll go find a hammock.
Big enough.
Or something. I'll put down a blanket and I'll curl up in a corner somewhere. How's that?
Right. Not a problem. That's what you're doing, Jorik. You curl up in your bunk bed, and just as you are falling asleep, Adrasai, you hear in the darkness a voice, and the voice says,
Well, well, well. My dear little Adrasai. You're doing so well. I'm so proud of you.
Oh.
on that note, we'll be back next week when Windswift continues. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you briefly. If not, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the goblin bell so you can get alerted when the episodes come out. And thank you for watching. All right, so another planning episode to a degree. Number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's you, Tobias. What thoughts on the episode, if anything?
I mean, I got a dragon armor.
Sure. I was.
I've been planning that since I grabbed the hide.
Oh my god, long running plans there.
Yeah,
I mean, it felt more active than last episode. Probably because we were actually traveling somewhere right now, so it feels like we're getting there.
I think there was also more progression, right? In general.
Yes, it was more progression. And it's nice to, interact with the NPCs and see all of the fun interactions between the players and the NPCs. So it was a transit episode, but it was an enjoyable transit episode for me.
Atra, some progress made?
Yeah, I'm in a really sticky situation right now, character-wise, and I don't actually know how I will get out of this, out of that yet, or if I will get out of that yet. Because he knows what he needs to know right now, basically, to move forward. And as I said, we're literally moving in the wrong direction from his point of view.
Sure.
So I don't know how and if I will solve this. I mean, I said earlier that in the past sessions that I am very much against that my character would do this. Which I still absolutely stand behind, but there needs to be like a reason also. And right now there's very little reason to stick around here for him.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
He is unsure what's going to happen. He's unsure if these 4-ish people actually have a plan or know what they're getting themselves into. He is yet to know or being told that they're willingly walking into a trap. So yeah,
surprise!
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look where this is going, but I might not always act self-sacrificial.
Sure. Not if you can save your sister. There's no point in doing that. Absolutely.
Sister, daughter.
Daughter. I don't know why I keep calling her sister. It's your sister, Tobias. Your daughter. Your uncle. You two. That's fine.
Well, I killed my family right off at the beginning.
That's right. You burnt
to avoid all of these issues.
Sensible thing. It's like, let's just clear out that one. No backstory for the GM to work with at all.
You're worse than me. I thought I killed everyone.
I actually tell my players that they have to come up with like people that are important to his character, so you can do something as an dungeon.
No, absolutely.
It was your mistake to buy.
No, I think Connor's busy dealing with the Oaken.
Killed her too.
Seems to be a juggling act. Sophie, you have set a cat amongst the pigeons.
I know.
This poor boy is being traumatized. Can't wait for next episode.
Well, I really thought he would go the way most 14-year-old boys go when they find out a female is interested in them, which is to kind of
Already be naked.
spread their oats, as it were. So I'm kind of surprised he's gone for the monk outfit. I can understand,
That's why.
Although that being said, a lot of especially young men have a problem with proactive women, right?
Yes, this is very true. That we are quite scary when we announce our attentions, I'm sure. God knows why, because it's like, they sit there wanting us to make the first move. Then we make the first move and they freak out. I mean, for God's sakes, they're worse than bloody women.
Well,
We're weird.
there might be more to it than that, but yes.
I know.
We'll...
But anyway, so Saket is probably having a bit of a fun with that. And hey, I got rid of the see-through trousers. I mean,
it definitely did.
Trousers.
Commendation right there.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I've done one good thing this particular episode. Thank God for that.
We can't save the world.
I'm just happy that we're role-playing over the internet and not actually on a stage play where we need to have actually those things on it.
Sort of visual medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the next episode is going to be very interesting, and I'm definitely Saket's interest is very much like, well, what was the motivation behind the storm there? So we will see what happens next time.
Yeah. Con didn't have a lot to do at the beginning of the episode. It was pretty much Adressai just, violating everyone's rights to privacy. But you certainly had some interesting things towards the end of the show.
Yeah, I felt the pacing was cool. I liked it. I took up a lot of time in previous episodes, so it all swings around and comes around for each character to get their bit of time. I think that's all good. And the whole scrying adventure was cool. That leads and adds a nice bit of tension to everything for Atra. I mean, obviously, what would a parent do? What would any parent do? Obviously, take the most direct route to their child is generally the idea. So yeah, that interesting. I think all round bit of character development there. The storm is a nice new mystery. What the hell's going on there?
I suspect Conodana will sigh if you ever find out why.
Yeah,
that's just.
I think I have suspicion in the back of my mind about what could possibly be going on there. But it's a suspicion. If it is, it's happened very quickly. But well, there you go. And then of course I quite like the image of the lone bird flying off into the stormy night to try and find flying ships and other things out there in the dark.
I do want to commend you, Guy, on that scene with the storm, because I think you focused exactly on the right parts of the scene, which was the environmental storytelling and the kind of the mystery of it, rather than saying, yeah, this is a very strong storm, give me an athletics check, which was is something that I have seen you do in the past, which I think you did very well here, just because it was inconsequential in the end, in that, and it gave the information that we needed. So yeah, I liked it very much.
I'm glad that you did. Thank you for that. Yeah, this has been a difficult episode, and I think the reason for it is because it's and this is not casting aspersions. Adressai was the one that was getting all the information, so it was difficult to kind of bounce anywhere else to sort of get inclusion going on, and at the same time also be aware it's like, well, yes, we could go elsewhere and have more NPC stuff. But at the same time, what Adressai is doing is important and interesting from a certain point of view. So I think that was a bit of a challenge so to speak. But 3 days have passed since we started the whole journey north. So 4 days actually by the end of it to get there. Yeah, and the interesting thing is always trying to decide when you are spying on someone and they don't know about it, what do you talk about? What do you show? And from a storytelling perspective, it's you show that they just happen to look at the character as the character is doing the big clue moment. And it's sometimes a bit frustrating. It's like, well, no, because you're just randomly dropping in on this person. What are they doing? They're doing their boring, mundane walk around. That's just what they're doing. And they're having a conversation about their wife and the this and the that. So it is an interesting challenge. And with scrying now, yes, it's that initial cost, but with it not consuming, yeah, you could just keep going and keep going and keep going. So it also gets to a point where you go, okay, well, I can continue to describe the mundane, but after a while, it's like, well, no, now you need to develop it and
right,
do it, because
no,
otherwise you're stuck in this loop, right?
And I think actually now that we are getting higher level and now we are getting access to these spells, it is also, as a dungeon master, I think very interesting to dungeon master these kinds of things, because the game gets a different kind of the necessity to dungeon master a little bit different. It becomes
No, absolutely.
the game changes. Let's put it like this. That's maybe the easiest way to
Correct.
put it.
There's so many
Game
more
changes.
abilities and things that one has to be cognizant of and take into.
But on the other hand, the evil guys, and that's one thing that the players often forget, can do it too.
Yes,
Yeah.
they can.
And that is one of the reasons why in the past I said, let line this room, for instance, so the shit
Right.
doesn't happen. Right?
So it doesn't come through, yeah. Adresai, quickly, your thoughts on the session of you seeing him
I always
miles
feel
away?
a little bad because Advercise the character is someone who just keeps doing things and keeps like they did this and they did this and they did this and they want to know about that.
I have a
person,
list.
that person. Yeah, I have like a itemized list of everything I want to do all the time, especially in this kind of downtime things. And I always just like, yeah, I have more things I want to do.
But it's great because it means it doesn't become this dull downtime.
Yeah,
There's
at least it
something
wasn't,
else.
you sail across the ocean for the next
Yeah.
5 days and that's the
I
only
mean,
narrative you get.
I've wanted to catch the cat for that conversation, actually, also about the book since Valenhold. It just hasn't.
Since it happened.
So much has happened constantly. It just there hasn't been a moment for it. And I'm like, I have to actually ask her about that now because like big thing. But
I am 100% with you here, because the way you build your character, like mechanically speaking, is not as a fire-breathing, lightning-throwing, like electromancer. It is literally as a toolkit, quote unquote, right? And wizards in general have the upper hand in the downtime things. It has been in this for D&D for the old time. And in fights, usually you don't do much because of this. So I think it is very fair, and just I am super happy for you in this, that you can apply the tools that you chose, that you can apply yourself, that you can get us the information that because of the choices you made,
yeah.
and also give Guy the opportunity to share information with us, which
Yeah,
sometimes as
absolutely.
Dungeon Master can be hard. So I'm 100% with you here, and I'm super happy for you, and I don't mind it at all.
That's good to hear. No, I was sort of trying, like you start getting into these side spells and smaller spells, and you start looking at like, what can I actually do with this? And you realize
Right.
like, I could break the game with this. Like I could
And
just
do it.
and like, yeah, and I'm like,
No,
I'm planning on using scrying a lot.
Yeah,
It's just,
absolutely.
perfectly fine. It's just like, I think I'm at a good level for it right now narratively, because I can use it once with a spell and then I can do arcane recovery and I can do it one more time.
Right.
But it's very exhausting right now, and I think it's good that there is a limit to it.
Absolutely.
And you can say like, yeah, over a period of 5 days, you manage to spy on this person enough that you get the information. Speaking like I was talking about with the whole, you don't always get the important information. Like you don't always turn the radio on when they talk about the axe murderer kind of thing. But yeah, no, and it was actually Simon who poked me in the group chat about how you don't necessarily have to use it on a person. You can use it on a location. and then suddenly it became a lot less complicated to figure out where she was.
And I think making a list is the perfect thing, because it gets really bothersome if you say like, oh wait, I need to do something. Oh no, wait, I need to do something else. I just forgot. I just remembered. If you make a list, it's so much quicker. That can be the only problem with these things, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a list, you can go through it quickly, and that's perfect.
Yeah, I can
That's
just...
it. All right. Thank you all for playing. I really appreciate and enjoy our games together. It is a lot of fun to try and figure out just how the hell you're going to screw with the little minds of the crew and make my villains sweat. It's all good. And thank you for watching us. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and the goblin bell. Just hit all three of them. Just smack away. Just get rid of your anger. And smack, 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 smack. Yes. There you go. And you can join the Discord server. Links are down below, I believe. As well as, just come and hang out and chat and be social. Until next week, however, wish you and yours the very happiest of gaming. Goodbye.